Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Command Score studio. Welcome to the show. So, things have gotten crazy in the world of Magic in many, many ways, and yeah, there's been some episodes over the past 2 months that have kind of explained many of those things that have gone crazy, but something else that has gone crazy in Magic are the prices of cards, and the extremeness of them. Back when my channel first started, I did an episode on the most expensive deck that I could build. I believe it was around like $26,000 or so, and it is now blown out of the water by this beast. Let's jump into it because $115,000, $644.48. 115,644.48. That is the price of the deck that I put together. There's a brand new application out there that I'm going to be showing you as well to help you if you want to bling out your deck and make it as expensive as possible. Basically the exact opposite of what I try to do with my budget, but I just want to show off basically how crazy it is these days and just the absurd prices of cards. Let's jump into it. First up, we're just going to talk about these cards individually. Just really quick run through to show the absurd prices. But Gandalf the White, apparently there's this one version of Gandalf the White. Well, there's like 6 Gandalfs, right? But this one with this art, apparently $1,599 or $8,989. Trying to find the most expensive version of all these took a little while, but yeah, that is quite pricey. Time Twister, of course, a card that is banned in a vast majority of formats, but not Commander. It is the one Power 9 card that's not banned, and it is very expensive for this very, very old version of it, $6,500. Apparently, this Soul Ring version right here, which I cannot read at all, very, very expensive. This is one of the, what do you call it? The numerical ones. The one they're like, hey, there's only 300 of these. So, yeah, it's going to be very pricey. $5,000 pricey of it. Serialized. That's the term I was looking for. Moving on, we've got Gaia's Cradle. $2,398.64. Yeah, that is quite a pricey card as well, but cheap in comparison to some ones we just talked about. That being said, Murktide Regent? Murktide Regent. This card apparently $3,265. Murktide Regent. This version of this card. Moving on, Dragon's Rage Channeler, $3,000. Again, beautiful art on these. Some of them are foil, some of them are like limited, some of them are just like, hey, this one card. This is the Eternal Weekend Legacy Championship of 2023. It's a $3,000 card now, apparently. Moving on. Tabernacle at Pendle Vale. I believe this one is on the reserve list. $2,970.40. Very, very old, very, very expensive card. Very, very annoying card if you're playing against it, where, hey, everyone's basically got to pay an upkeep cost for their creatures to keep them around. Moving on. Speaking of creatures, Ragavan Nimble Pilferer. This very interesting, unique art. $2,949 for this little 1 mana card. How about a land, though? Mishra's Workshop, $2,400. Again, these numbers just don't even seem real. My entire Magic collection is less than this. I mean, the majority of decks I build are like $25 a piece, right? So I think my total collection is like 9 decks. What's that math right there? Whatever that math is, much less than this. Anyways, moving on. Tundra, of course. All of the dual lands, also, I believe, right, reserve list essentially those. Very, very expensive, especially the very old versions of the $2,200. Next up, Ulamog the Defiler, a newer card right here from Modern Horizons 3. This unique art, the serialized version of it. Actually, this is like this is the art, right, where when it got spoiled, people were like, oh, that's not real. That's not real. And they're like, oh, wait, this Ulamog that exiles half of a library and has Annihilator X is real. Gross. But yeah, these serialized versions so expensive. Emrakul, the World Anew. Yeah, also, again, serialized Eldrazi, $2,100 for this one. Jusum Dijin, $1,899, not quite $8,000, still very, very expensive for that as well. Mana Vault, of course, a very expensive card as well. One of the last remaining, I mean, not last remaining, but Soul Ring-esque type cards, the quick, fast mana on artifacts. This one, though, you gotta untap it by paying mana, or, have other ways to untap it, or just don't even care about it because it's more of like a ritual effect in that way. It's a very good card. $1,800 for this very old version of it. Elish Norn, yet again, these serialized versions really popping up and kind of just showing, again, how crazy things are getting with the price of Magic cards. $1,800. Okay, fine. You save a penny. $1,799.99. Bizarre Baghdad, again, $1,744. Sauron the Dark Lord. I didn't realize how expensive some of these Lord of the Rings versions cards are. Oh my goodness. $1,720 for this one. Shivan Dragon, a card that you can get for literally like 5 cents, right? I mean, maybe not 5, but less than $1. You can get the vast majority of Shivan Dragons out there. And this one apparently is $1,649. For those of you out there that love Shivan Dragon, congratulations. You can spend a lot of money on this one. Wheel of Fortune, a very, very good card. Obviously, it is a wheel card, hence the name. $1,439 for this one. Survival of the Fittest, yet another great card. Tutor up some creatures out of your library, but for a very expensive version of this card, $1,300. Go tutor up some very expensive creatures. Volcanic Island, yet another one of the dual lands, and very expensive itself, $1,200. Final Fortune, do you want an extra turn that makes you lose the game if you don't win next game? Next turn, I mean. Yeah, this one's $1,249, and again, it's shiny. Yay! Shieldred, yet another one of these serialized cards, $1,220 for this one. Mutavault, a very, very good card, and yeah, we are seeing quite a few lands in here, actually. $1,170.95. I think, actually, when I did that very first one, there was only so many lands in it, the $26,000 deck or whatever it was. There's only so many lands in it. I probably should have gone back to look at that real quick. That's okay, though. But yeah, there's only so many lands in it. I think this time, actually, you got enough lands in the deck. If you really want to go spend over $100,000 on a deck, it will probably function because there's enough lands in it to do so. So there you go. Mutavault, though, not helping you fix your mana, but it can become a creature if you need it to be. City of Brass. Deals 1 damage to you when it comes tapped. You can tap for 1 mana of any color. Can definitely help you fix your mana, though. And what's 1 damage for 40 life? Over $1,000 for this one, though. Imperial Seal, one of the greatest sorceries, one of the greatest tutors in Magic. It is not quite Vampiric Tutor, but nearly there. Sorcery speed for a single black mana. Go get any card, shuffle your library, put it on top of it. Mind Twist, cool, creepy art, $1,000.71. Nevs Disc, yeah, who knew Nevs Disc? Again, a card that is much less than $1, less than 50 cents even within my budget. And yeah, there's a $1,000 version of this for a very, very old mono artifact. That's how you can tell a card's old. If it says mono artifact, it is old. Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth, the Fanghorn Forest version of it. Yeah, this one is another serialized card. $1,000 for this one. Yeah, again, this one can help you really fix your mana if you want green. Moat, if you want to fix the board and not let people attack you, basically, it's a great card. I mean, no, I guess you can't attack other people. You have flyers, too. But still, basically, a very, very good Pelifort card. $999. This one, again, I believe is on the reserve list, too. Not on the reserve list, but a very good card. Still, this is the most expensive version of Demonic Tutor, apparently. $999.99. Again, it's a steal right now, just underneath $1,000. A Swamp, a basic Swamp is over $900. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, you can get Swamp for what, like 2 cents? You could find them at if you literally just walk into a local game store like, hey, can I have a Swamp? They'll probably be like, yeah, sure, here's a Swamp. So you can either do that and get one for free, or, you know, borrow one for a friend or whatever, or just, yeah, buy them in bulk online. I mean, if you literally bought Swamps in bulk online for $1,000, you could get a lot. I don't know the exact number. You can get a lot of them, though. Probably around 1,000 Swamps. Tropical Island. Yeah, yet another one of the dual lands. Taiga. Yet another one of the dual lands. Again, each of these being around like $1,000. It's absolutely crazy. Chains of Mephistopheles. One of the weirdest cards you will ever read. And it is so... I have seen like literally charts on how this works. Like you literally just need to like pull up a chart and be like, how in the world does this work? Every time a player draws a card, player must first discard a card from their hand. If there are no cards in their hand, take the top card of the player's library in the graveyard and says drawing. The enchantment does not apply to the first card drawn to the player to the draw phase. What? What is going on here? So if you really want to confuse your friends, because again, this affects everyone, play this card. Play this really expensive card. Copy Artifact. Yeah, $925 to copy an artifact. Another expensive card. You get an expensive card out, you copy the expensive card with an expensive card. Cool. Leonardo da Vinci, apparently a serialized version of this one from Assassin's Creed. Nearly $900. Teysa all the way up there. Go this serialized version of it. Yeah, quite expensive as well. Steam Vents, here we go with a actual Shockland up there too. Serialized version of this one nearing $900. Mox Diamond, finally finding a Mox, one of the only legal Mox in the actual format. I mean, I guess most of the mocks are legal, I guess, technically, but like not the real moxes that are, the Power 9 ones. That being said, $860. Hypnotic Spectre, again, really old, creepy, cool art. This one is nearly 800 and, I was going to say nearly 850. It's over 850. There you go. Ensnaring Bridge, yet another serialized version of this one from Lord of the Rings. Bridge of Khazad-dûm. It is, again, $826 for this one. Underground Sea, yet another one of the dual lands. This one, $819. What a steal for that, obviously, compared to the other ones. I mean, really, a steal at $800. Sarah Angel, a card that was definitely much better way back in the day. Not so much now. Still $800 if you want to spend up on this one. Candelabra of Tanos. Is this one? I think this one also. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong on this one. Is this one the reserve list? I think it might be. Regardless, $800 for this one. Magus of the Candelabra, much more inexpensive than that. Mox Amber, yet another serialized version of this one. Nearly $800 for this. Then we've got Intuition. $786 for this tutor that is kind of like another tutor that is banned. But yeah, that one is banned. This one is not. Yeah, none of these cards are banned in Commander. Rhystic Study, the most annoying card in Commander, potentially. You're going to pay one for that? You got to pay one for that? You got to pay one for that? Well, what you are going to pay for this one, though, if you actually do pay for it, is $743 because this is the most expensive version you can find. Moving on, Lightning Bolt. Very good in other formats. Yeah, it's okay in Commander. I mean, it's not really okay for most decks out there. If you have a deck that's built around burninating things or non-combat damage, yeah, absolutely, it's a very good card. But for most decks out there, it doesn't make the cut. But for this one, for when it comes to a deck where you're just like, you know what, the most expensive, it makes the cut. Next up, Nib Missit Guild Pact. This is yet another option for your commander. You've actually, I believe, 2 options in here for your commander, because of course we need a 5-color deck when it comes to actually getting the most out of, well, spending the most money for a commander deck. So there you go. Here's one of your 5-color commanders. If you want to build around Nib Missit, cool. You can be like, hey, yeah, throw it out there with this really cool serialized version of it that's incredibly expensive, and be like, hey, everyone else, how expensive a commander are you playing? Okay, cool. Mine's nearly $730, so you're welcome. I win, just because of money. All right, Encore Electromancer. This is a Snapcaster Mage, though, $715. Yet another one, Scrubland. Yeah, we're getting basically all the dual lands in here, of course. So yeah, your mana fixing is going to be amazing. $704. Hitsugu. I did not realize that this one, this is like a separate art version of it, though. It's got like the little flows of energy kind of stuff. I can't remember what they called these. Let me know in the comments if you remember the name of this, like the neon energy cards or whatever they are. I didn't realize this one was $700. My goodness. Guardian Beast, really weird, really old card. This one is $700 as well. Rakdos, Patron of Chaos, with some really cool art. This one is another serialized card, $699. Yeah, the serialized cards really changed up the game when it came to, hey, what's the most expensive deck you can build? And it's like, oh yeah, it's like 4 times as expensive now as it used to be. Then we got Morgul Knife, which is Shadow Spear, $700 for this serialized Lord of the Rings version. Next up, I don't even know the name of this card because I can't read that. But yeah, I believe it's Cleopatra from Assassin's Creed. This is a serialized version of as well, around $700 too. Isengard. We're taking the Hobbits to Isengard. Anyone? No? Okay. Beseiju Shelters All. That was like, okay, back in the early YouTube days, it's like that thing caught on like fire. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure you check out Taking the Hobbits to Isengard, and that will be stuck in your head for all week. Anyways, $700 for this one. This is Beseiju. Merfolk the Pearl Triton. This one is going to be Trident. Nearly $700 as well. Oh gosh, I believe this is Aristotle. I'm not sure, from Assassin's Creed. I think it is, or is it Socrates? I don't know. Some old, philosopher of some sort. I'm completely fumbling over this right now. Can't remember. Anyways, 500 serialized version. Urbrask though. Oh my goodness. All the other, I was going to say all the other Praetors are going to be jealous, but I think we already talked about Elish Norn, right? So many, and children. Okay, 2 of the Praetors are going to be upset that Urbrask is up here, though. Used to be the joke out of all of the Praetors, right? And then finally got a really good one at the last one. I believe this is above Vorinclex and above Jin Gitaxias, so there you go. $650. Congratulations, Urbrask. Then we've got Bag N, which is Horizon Canopy, $650 as well. Plateau, yet another one of the dual lands. Congratulations, $637. Swords to Plowshares, again, a card that is less than $1 most of the time. You can find it, you can get it, you can utilize it for many decks out there. Very budget friendly for the most part. And this one's like, you know what? No, $630 for this really old, cool artwork. Absolutely. The 10th Doctor, apparently, very expensive for some reason. I know nothing about Doctor Who. I don't know about the significance of the 10th Doctor, but apparently it's expensive. 510 versions of it for serialized, and this is $630. Buy you yet another one of the dual lands. Congratulations, $627. Then we've got yet another one of these serialized Lord of the Rings versions. I'm not going to try to say that name. Yes, I am. Herugrim. Maybe? Sword of Rowan? Cool. All right, Sword of Hearth and Home. I've seen Lord of the Rings, okay, multiple times. I don't know how to say some of the words still, okay? Anyways, not a super nerd on that. Serialized version, 100 of them apparently, very expensive. Not sure which this one is. I think it's the Wanderer Planeswalker. Okay, anyways, $590. Next up, Liliana Ofes. There you go. The, like, baseball card versions of these. Apparently plays right field. Did not know that. Okay, anyways, I know they had positions. There you go. Cool. $573 though. Moving on, the Abyss, a very annoying card. My goodness. All players bury one target non-artifact creature under their control if they have any during their upkeep. Basically, everyone sacrifices a creature each turn, essentially. The way that that's kind of worded is a bit strange. Obviously, things have changed since back in the day, but still a very, very annoying card that just is a basically edict effect each time, each trip on the table. $568. Savannah, yet another dual land. There you go. Blood Crypt, yet another serialized, I was going to say ping land, but yeah, Shockland. There you go. That's the word. Then there's a Traxa Praetor's Voice, a serialized version of this one, close to being an option for your commander. I mean, it could, I guess, but you got to cut red all out, which would definitely affect the budget and make it more effective, and not more effective, but more budget friendly. And that's not the goal of this episode, right? The goal is most expensive of all time, not budget friendly. So yeah, I'm sorry, Atraxa, you can't quite cut it to be the commander for this deck, even though you are $549. Then there's Nether Void. There you go. Yet another very old, very, very obnoxious card in mono black. My goodness, this was a card back in the day. All spells cast are counter unless they pay an additional 3. This is a stacks effect that makes your opponents, sorry, not your opponents, everyone's spells cost 3 more to cast. Yeah, this is obviously more of like a blue effect, but for some reason back in the day, you know what? Yeah, black's just about being mean. Here you go. Got it. Yes. $550. Hollowed Fountain, another Shockland. This is a serialized version. So yeah, again, you've got some great mana fixing when it comes to this deck. That being said, it's very expensive mana fixing. $539. Mox Opal, another one of the Mox. Cool. It is a very cool version. I can't remember what they called these versions, but they're really, really cool. Very cool design, and $535. The Innovations, is that it? Anyways, $535. Forest, another very, 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 very cheap card that you can get, or you can spend a lot of money on this one. A Darker Wastes, another cool card, $524. Yeah, again, a lot of really cool lands in this. Elish Norn, different Elish Norn. So again, sorry other Praetors out there, but Elish Norn getting a bit more attention. This is a serialized version, $520. Breeding Pool, serialized version of this one as well. The Shockland, $516. Yawgmoth's Will, a very, very good card. Your graveyard becomes your hand, kind of ish. Anyways, you get to be able to utilize this and have a very big explosive turn for $516. An explosive price for that as well. Then there's Castle Ardenvale, a very, very, very budget-friendly card for the most part, except for this one apparently. Yeah, these Lord of the Rings serialized versions are expensive, apparently. Next up, the One Ring. I did not even realize that this was the One Ring when I first saw it. I was like, okay, this is really hard to read. It looks really cool, though, obviously. It looks like a band poster, but, yeah, it's really hard to read. But, yeah, that might annoy your opponents even more when you play it, because you're like, hey, this cost me $254. And, also, yeah, we'll try to read this, see what it does. And I'm like, we know what it does. We've played against it before. No. Let me read it. Okay, here we go. Yeah, no, this is a very, very cool version of it, but a very expensive version. And actually, I've got a little addition to talk about at the end of the episode if I remember to do so. So hopefully I do, where we can kind of adjust the budget of this deck by quite a bit. All right, Zodiac Dragon, yet another card that is just really, really old. $512 for this one, so there you go. All Hallows Eve, yet another really old card, $510. I think that's on a reserve list. Endurance Bobblehead. Apparently there's a bobblehead that broke through for some reason. Anyways, this one is 500 serialized versions of it, apparently $500 or so. Yeah, this card broke through, and it is quite expensive. And it's an uncommon, maybe? I don't know. Anyways. We got Gauntlet of Might, makes it so your red things do better. Great. So again, those lands that are, you know, mountains technically, which you have a decent amount of them actually because you got the dual lands and stuff and some shock lands in there too. Actually, yeah, there you go. So you can do some pretty cool things with this and pump your red creatures as well, including your commander, whichever one of the commanders you want. Diamond Valley. I don't even know what this one does. I cannot remember, but it is $500 and I believe it's got to be on the reserve list. It is old. Weathertop. This is apparently Deserted Temple. Yeah, cool. Untap another one of your lands if you need to. $500. It's kind of funny the dichotomy of your mana fixing in this deck. It's like, okay, all the dual lands, some shocks as well, so some great fixing, and then also just some lands that tap for a colorless in a 5-color deck. We're doing good. Yeah, we can do that. Okay, next up, we've got Skittles. Hi, Skittles. Skitherix, the Blight Dragon. Infect your opponents out with this serialized version of this one. It looks really cool, but yeah, $500. Yet another one of the basic lands that are incredibly expensive. Let me know what the name of these are in the comments below as well. There's a name for these. I can't remember what they are. Regardless, you spend $500 on mountains, you could probably get a lot more than just one. Water Grave, yet another one of these shock lands, and this one is serialized as well. $500. Nearly Lotus Petal as well. $484 for this one. Again, if it says Lotus, if it says Mox, it's probably expensive and it's serialized, or if it's one of these innovations or whatever, it's going to be expensive. Apparently, yet another one of the bobbleheads broke in here. What are you doing, bobbleheads? Here we go. The Agility bobblehead. 500 versions of this, apparently serialized. $480. The Plains. There we go. We are nearly done with the cycle right now. I think we got everything but the island so far, right? $480 for this. Wrath of God. There we go. Let's destroy the board with something very expensive. $480 for this. Or let's just, destroy friendships with Ravages of War for $476 for this one. I don't want to play the game right now. I'm already upsetting my opponents by being like, how expensive is this one? How expensive is this one? How expensive is this one? And then I'm going to accept them with like, oh, okay, yeah, let's get rid of the lands. Okay. All right, let's play for another hour and a half. Okay, sounds good. $476, and make sure you tell them that it's $476 when you do so. Okay, Sliver Queen, yet another one of the options for you for your commander. $259 for this one. So if you want to go Slivers, I think Nib Missit, the Guild Pack, was the other version that you could choose. So now we actually have two really expensive commanders in 5-color you can pick from. So again, things have changed over the past 5 years, and apparently, or 5-6 years, whatever it was when I made that first episode. But yeah, being able to now have two options. Congratulations for your very expensive commander deck. Congratulations. And then finally, Vesuvian Doppelganger, I believe. This version apparently $129. Again, the total of this entire deck, whether it's Sliver Queen or whether it's Nib Missit as your commander, $115,000, $644.48. Absolutely crazy. But here's the thing. I am going to say technically, okay? Technically, because I don't believe, and I haven't talked to Post recently, okay? So I don't believe that the One Ring is for sale right now. The one of one serialized version One Ring that Post Malone bought for $2.6 million apparently. I don't believe that one's for sale. If it was, I mean, the price of our deck would go up significantly. The One Ring itself was what, like $450 or whatever, that the version we had, maybe $500 or so. So it would go up just a little bit by like 2.5 million and some massive change. So yes, technically, if Post was to sell this, and for the exact same amount, probably more, then, well, yeah, the cost of the most expensive commander deck would technically be like 2.61 million. There you go. So that's probably what it would be. That being said, though, if you want to bling out your deck, it's not my thing, but I can appreciate it. I can understand that players like to look at the really cool, unique cards. If you want to bling out your deck and you want to see what it does, there's a really cool new resource. It's called Bling My Deck. There you go. What you do is you paste your deck list in there, you hit, all these different finishes, you hit your currency, and then you hit submit, and it's like, here's the most expensive versions of that. So it's a really cool new tool, so make sure you check that out. But yeah, it's interesting. Just again, the different ways that players can play Magic, the different ways that players approach Magic, and the absurdness of the expensiveness of some cards these days. Literally, I mean, this most expensive deck ever is more expensive than, very expensive cards. Some houses as well. I mean, just like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy what you can spend your money on in Magic these days. Versus I will be more so spending them on budget cards. And yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing for my $25 decks or less if I can. So there you go. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Make sure you comment below with your thoughts on this one. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.